Hello everybody, it's Scott Amato, and in this video I'm going to tell you about some of the changes with Refined Storage and ProjectE as of version 1.6. Okay, it's a sad story somewhat, but Refined Storage and ProjectE used to be married. Now they're divorced. Okay, so as of version 1.6, ProjectE integration was removed from RF storage or refined storage. Okay, so I depended on that a lot. I petitioned and hoped and all that wouldn't happen, but whatever did. So basically this used to be an elegant system. Okay, all you had to do was put an external storage on your refined storage system and put a transmutation table on top of it, and everything was interconnected. All your stuff that you put in the transmutation table could be seen in refined storage. Everything that you put in refined storage that had EMC could be put into the table. It was a seamless system. So it allowed you to do things like not have to network your refined storage systems to access most of your items if they had EMC. All you had to do was go and build another refined storage system. And it was cheap as dirt with, oops, let me switch the mode, rotation right there. Yeah, it was cheap as dirt to do when you had a good amount of EMC. And then all of a sudden you just had another refined storage system. But you could see there was some lagginess with it when you got all these items. Now, this is every EMC item in the game. This is a very small mod pack, though. And I'm bringing in massive amounts of EMC right now, and it's calculating. It's having to calculate how many of these items will fill out the amount of EMC that you have. So that could be a little bit laggy because you can see I'm bringing in EMC quite fast. I'll show you how that is. Because you could also do a power flower. Now, it made no difference in lag when that interface wasn't accessed here. And it only really started to show its ugly head when you were changing EMC rapidly like this, and you had thousands and thousands of items, okay? Then you started to notice it. But this system also allowed you to build beautiful things like this fully integrated power flower, where I had a condenser inside of here doing emeralds. Everything accelerated by the pedestals. Watch the flowing time. Importing into the transmutation table into the refined storage system here. So I was just automatically pulling EMC into the system. Pulling the emeralds. Creating emeralds. Duplicating emeralds. Pulling them into the system. Growing my EMC. And, beautiful thing. So you can see my EMC would get updated every once in a while. Here, and again, some of the updates, you could put speed upgrades on here if you needed, but you really don't need. It's just a matter of doing the calculations was the thing. But anyway, that was removed for whatever reason, and we'll look toward the future. So let me go ahead and cut away to a new world with version 1.6 of refined storage, and we'll see what we got to do now. Okay, so welcome to the present day and probably the future too. Let me get my viewpoint. So what we have now is there's actually two different mods. This one mod, refined storage, is or not refined storage, being labeled refined storage, but it's not. It's refined exchange, I think it is. Yeah, I don't know, it's labeled refined storage, but that's wrong. So I think it's refined exchange. This mod was introduced in 1.10, okay, prior to refined storage integration. The refined storage integration of 1.11.2 or whatever, believe it was 1.11.2, totally knocked this one out because their system was so much better and so much more elegant. And that remains true, okay? This EMC liquefying idea, I don't like it very much at all. Basically, how it works is that EMC is now considered to be a liquid that you can take things and liquefy them, burn them into a liquid. I don't know why it's a liquid. I do know why it's a liquid. I think it's because you get a lot more liquid storage. So you get 4096K in a fluid storage disk compared to 64K. The 64K of EMC is nothing. So you had to have tons of storage disks. But even 4,906K, that's 4 million. That's not that much, really. I mean, it's okay, but it's not that much. So you're still going to have disks. But the real fault of it is that for you to craft with EMC, you have to have this EMC crafter. Okay? None of the items that you've burned or liquefied are seen in this system. So it doesn't matter what I put in there. If I put a red wool in here, it just gets eaten and it's not added to the system. This transmutation tablet doesn't know anything about it. It's not a thing. Okay? But and so for you to craft with EMC, which is basically I just use your values, you had to put an item in here and you had 9 slots for this crafter and all this kind of stuff. Okay, I'll probably go into some detailed videos where I show it and all that, but this is just kind of overview. Not a big fan because you have to have a bunch of these EMC crafters if you're going to do any kind of thing with it. You know, they take dark matter, you know, they're 54,000. They're not crazy. Oh, wait, that's the liquefier. Yeah, the 302,000. So they could get kind of expensive because if you're doing 9 things, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. So this was the first one that came out, and I was like, all right, no, I'm going to stick with refined storage 1.5. But then this guy, the equivalent storage, where you get the equivalence engine, came out. Cool texture, like it. Equivalence engine. Look at that. Let's just say it. Engine. Equivalence. Some of this stuff, there we go. Yeah, equivalent. So you see, so it's cheap, not a problem. Use a transmutation table. Use your dust. Use a machine casing from refined storage, quartz and rich ironstone. Not bad. And it restores this functionality that we love so much, which is basically, and it actually even a little bit more integrated look-wise into refined storage. So basically what this guy does is it just acts as a virtual bridge. Okay? You know, and you could choose an access type, insert and extract. So go in and out. You got a redstone, so you can turn it on and off. Kind of nice. And basically whatever you put in here goes in there. So I just added an antimatter relay. All right. It just pops right in. So it's actually very, very seamless as the other system was. And I like it. That is a good way to do it. And so that restores the abilities that we had. And actually, like I said, actually a little bit more elegant. But the only thing is that you have to import into this guy. But you could use just regular means. You can't see it as a unit, but if I was going to build a power flower from that as I did before, then let me actually do that real quick and I'll come back and show you. Okay guys, so here's the power flower built with this equivalence engine. Works seamlessly just as you'd expect. I have this exposed right now just so we can see that I'm doing emeralds, and when they get made, I have an importer that imports it in to the collector there, so you'd need power for this, so you'd have a solar panel or something there. Solar panel would be good, fits with the ProjectE theme. So you can actually cover this. In my some previous videos, I've shown that you could use a universal remote to access it, specifically my How to Power Flower video. So I could put the collector back, which will get me a bit more speed. We are missing one collector for the full power flower here, but we can't really replace that because we need to have a cable to it. So basically this guy just does its thing and imports it into the system. These recalculate, so you're still going to have that continual recalculation thing. If you get bunches and bunch of items, it's just the way that it is. It doesn't matter when it's not open. It calculates when you open it. And so these units are linked just as before. So completely remote, and this guy's linked as well. So I'm getting all of the data. So it's basically the same. I would be surprised if they just broke out the code. That's the way to do it, because it worked well. And as I said, this actually fits visually better into the refined storage look. So I like that part of it too. And it's not very expensive to make, not much more expensive than you would expect. Now you technically could probably do the same thing of burning EMC into liquid with this guy like that, importing the emeralds. But you're going to have some storage for fluid. And so you're either going to make fluid disks, which refined storage has changed all that. Refined storage 1.6 has changed how all that works with fluid, and they keep revising it or fleshing it out or whatever. 1.6 was a great big change. So I can look into that, but you could probably pull EMC out and store it in tanks. I'm guessing that's a thing. We have to look at that about how the fluid interface works. I know there was an issue of filling buckets, but they may have resolved that now. I want to look into that because it's actually a liquid now, which is really odd. I don't think EMC was ever meant to be a liquid. But I think I know again why they did it, just because you get more. When you were doing was in 110, I believe when it was first introduced, it was not a liquid. It was 64K storage disk. It was some kind of EMC something or other, and you couldn't store very much. There's just no way that it could handle that, because we're at 44 million, bringing in several million at a time. Not at each thing, but we would just quickly burn through even these liquid storage disks. So yeah. So I'm happy to report that basically the equivalence engine brings us back to where we were. The problem going forward is, will this be maintained and kept up to date with changing refined storage versions? Because this, like I said, this goes through all kinds of revisions and changes, and this would probably have to be kept in sync with it. And the same thing with ProjectE. ProjectE doesn't go through as many revisions and changes, but we all know that eventually we'll get to 113. So we'll see. That's my only worry, is that when this was integrated in refined storage, then it would have carried forward. Had the developer, been tuned into this segment of his user base. But we'll see how that goes. But I'm happy to report that all is still well in refined storage and EMC integration. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think. It's a little bit controversial with some of the changes that he made, not just the ProjectE stuff, but just overall in refined storage. So we're kind of adapting and getting used to it. Refined storage is still the best system out there, and Raul is an excellent developer. No doubt about it. Great coder. So anyway, Scott O'Mara, thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.